both men and women can still encompass the grown woman and the little girl, or the grown man and the little boy inside of them. They show up when they're needed. They show up when they need attention. They show up when they need to regulate. It's a reason why you grow through stages of childhood, then young teenager, then adulthood, then relationshiphood, and you may practice relationshiphood on your way up those ladders, but never do you dispose any of the lessons from the ladders. You take them with you. So then as you get older, you may have some things that you dealt with as a child that you overlooked, or that many people ignored if you tried to get help for yourself for, or never felt like you had anybody to go to. And then an adult circumstance can present this childhood torture chamber, because that's what it is. By the time you grow up or become grown or of age, or whatever word y'all want to fill in that gap, then your grown self has to deal with something that everybody in your childhood ignored or overlooked. And the reason they did that is because that's what they were used to doing with their problems, overlooking them. Let's put this laminate floor on top of this wood floor, and this plastic and these bricks on top of all of this laminate floor and wood floor. Let's just try to make it seem like the problems aren't there, because we covered them up, and nobody should bring this up if they can't see it, right? But somehow something happens in your present life that brings out all of these issues that have made you the adult that you are. And when these things come up, because your childhood didn't have a rescue squad, your adulthood may have some people in your village that know how to fix this problem, but the problem might be other adults might suffer the same chokehold. And while energetically they can be an answer for you and you can be an answer for them, who's going to start the conversation? So then the finger pointing starts. Oh, the finger pointing is relentless. Grow up. You're too old for that. Of age and too old are two different things. Just like adult, grown, all of these words are different. Though they may be cousins, because they're relative, they're different words for a reason. So then you'll see some videos where you may see, oh, well, you know, this grown man acting like a man child, or this little girl, this woman looking for validation because she got daddy issues, and a little girl in her shows up. Yes to both. And so then when they show up, what are you doing to fix it? Things don't come up out of the blue. They come up because the energy is trying to balance itself. Energy doesn't die. So guess what? If you cover it up, it's just going to do what? Show up again in a different form, because energy does not die. Energy doesn't die. Energy does not die. Energy doesn't 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 die. While you sit here and keep thinking that if you just give yourself the blind side to see things, you'll eventually hit the wall. The kids that you give birth to will hit the wall. The friends that they have will hit walls. The kids that they have will hit walls. All of the people. And the reason why I say the friends that they have will hit walls is because their energy of neglecting yourself will invite people who only neglect themselves. And you'll see it, and maybe immediately in some cases, and later on in others as the relationship grows. But you'll realize that you've been around people who have neglected themselves and made a wardrobe of covering that shit up. And then you who really are seeking help, which people translate help as validation. I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. It's not a human on this planet, I'm sorry, that doesn't seek validation. Okay? You order food at a restaurant, they come out with the plate of what you asked for, exactly how you wanted it cooked. That is literally validation. Please tell me if I'm wrong. It's validation. It's a form of validation. It's a confirmation of your request. It's validation. Okay. So then the more you get into this habit of talking a certain way towards yourself, that's the more you're going to talk to the people around you until you realize that you might actually be the problem. But once you realize you're the problem, the golden ticket to that shit is you also get to become the solution. And what a lot of people love to do is they love to sit in the space of, oh, I've got a problem. Oh my gosh, I've got a problem. And they actually get excited about the problem and marry sitting at the problem, right? When you sit at the problem, it only takes a few more steps to start getting towards the solution. Promise. I promise you. And guess what? Getting to the solution may be challenging because you have to unearth and undo and untwist a lot of knots. Sometimes they're knots that you haven't even put there, but they've become a part of you because it's been a part of your lineage. Somehow, you've been awarded the task of figuring it out. And when you are able to stop bullshitting yourself, everything really becomes crystal clear. It's a very straight line. It's extremely straightforward. It doesn't stutter. It states. These are the necessary components. A lot of people will marry being in that state because then they'll sit on the excuses of, nobody ever taught me how to do this. The crazy part to that is nobody ever taught the people who came before you to do it either. So if you get seduced by the mindset of, I don't know how to do that, nobody ever showed me how to do that, it's your opportunity to write the playbook. Write the fucking playbook. Write it. If it doesn't work for 10,000 people, guess what? It's 10 billion people on the planet. It's going to work for maybe a different group of 10,000. And out of the 10 billion on this planet, when you come to this space within yourself, you now get the opportunity to leave an imprint somewhere where maybe somebody else will start to find their courage and their words and their internal solutions. Eventually it's going to help. But if you keep sitting at this bus stop waiting for certain things to come when it's actually your time to move, you'll get more hurt sitting there waiting than you would moving forward. You may witness a lot. I can guarantee you'll see people fly past you and progress. You'll see them get on and off of buses. You may see them on repeat, and then every time you see them, they look better than the last time. But you still sitting on that fucking bus stop. You, wow, how did they do it? They moved. They got moving. It was very simple. They put one foot in front of the other one, whether it was baby steps or jumps, it doesn't matter. Movement was what was required, and that's what they did. They moved. They didn't sit there twiddling their thumbs, ruminating about what did and did not happen. No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. I have never seen this card come out. It's crazy because this is literally what I'm talking about right now. I'm going to leave that there. It's in my business today. Jennifer, why are you shuffling cards? I'm shuffling cards because they soothe my mind. Ever since I was little, I would shuffle playing cards, play solitaire, build card houses. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is my Virgo sign like cards the way that I like cards. I might have been a little more invested though, because it moved from one type of card to another. And actually it didn't move. It's actually the same thing. All of the suits and the cards of those games are suits and the cards. These are the ones that we use for... I'm not letting y'all see that one. What I said is what I said. Get the fuck off the bus stop and go ahead and move your life. Go ahead and move. Get on the bus, see what's there. Take a trip, do the route. Do the... Or stay stagnant and watch everybody else move forward. I mean, I don't know what else to... So then let me try to wrap this into what I said in the very beginning. You hear more people now speaking about how relationships, or let me just say this, revealing different aspects on how relationships really do make you turn towards who you are. It makes you deal with things, okay? And all of us have things that we need to deal with. Ain't nobody left out of that. But you hear people, you hear both men and women alike get excited when you're in relationships, or you start to grow relationships with people and they feel so free and childlike, like they can be their core selves. And then when they're in their adult meat suit and their childlike tendencies start to come out, the good ones is not where the fight starts. It's where you felt challenged as a child and how it shows up in your adulthood relationships, that you get stunned at the fact that the issue is still there. But honestly, the relationship and something within the dynamic pulled it out so that you can fix it. It's not there to taunt you and say, oh yeah, you still got this problem, let's just keep this going. No, it's there, or it comes up to let you know there's something in this moment that really needs you to be there for you. And the grace is that you get strangers and people that you know that can show up in these small spaces to help you see. If you really take a look at your circumstances in a way and stop having a blame campaign. And sometimes that's hard to do, because if you don't know how to come out of focusing on your problems, that's the only thing that you'll do. But if you're able to get quiet and then look at everything and look at the similarities between what problem A and what problem B carry and how you are contributing to that. And I'm going to say this, contribution might not be something that you do intentionally. Contribution might be what you let slide. Because anything that you don't check or anything that you leave unchecked will check itself. It's going to find a place to land. So somewhere in your childhood, there might have been something that happened that made you shrink your voice. And yes, it did. Because in your adulthood, you're currently at this bus stop. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in your grown space where you've learned how to talk about 19 things, that 20th thing you still struggle with. You don't know how to find your voice for it because that's the first one that was shrunk. And without realizing it, because we didn't have vocabulary the way that we needed it, you continue to shrink yourself, because when that one certain element of energy, that one certain element of energy will come up with that one certain sting and that one certain feeling. And that's the one that you've learned to shrink and get quiet. I use the reference of The Princess and the Pea all of the time. I use it with my kids. I use it when I talk to my adult friends. That story is very powerful. The Princess and the Pea. You got problems piled up. like this big, right? I'm trying to find something extremely small. I don't know. Let me break a piece of this candle wax. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this real quick. And underneath, this honey can't balance out. It cannot balance out. It keeps doing a seesaw because this is under it. And anything you sit on top of this, which appears to be level, it's going to keep falling off and doing like this. I need to keep going because in your younger days, you were taught to what? Put everything on top of this. Nobody told you how important this is, except for when you went to church and they talked about mustard seeds. But your main mustard seed needed to be watered. Lord have mercy. So your faith can be the size of a mustard seed, right? And that's all you need in order for things to grow is the faith. But that's just the comparison of the size of the faith that you need, not the seed itself. It's something very quick that happens in that statement. If you have faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed, then we're only talking about how much faith you need in measure. We're not talking about what the seed can actually do. In reference to that, your faith becomes the seed. It transitions. Where the hell did my wax just go? It transitions, right? So the seed then becomes faith. That's why when you hear that verse from the Bible, it's talking about the amount of faith that you need for anything to shift. It's not talking about the seed itself. And this is the way we need to break up the things between the words that we say, because they make a huge difference. It makes a difference in how you approach things. It makes a difference in how you look at yourself and the things that you may need healing with. It makes a difference in how you conversate with yourself, because then that starts to reflect with how you have conversations with everybody else around you. It creates your sphere. It creates everything in your personal bubble. My God. And your faith is rooted from your childhood. You can keep trying to try all these different modalities, and there's nothing wrong with that. Each one that you try, trust and believe me, will point you to the source of where you internally need the most help. And don't beat yourself up about it, because listen to me. All of us were brought into this world with somebody else's monkey on their back that they didn't fix, right? It gets carried over in the DNA. One person to the next, right? It's not your fault, but it can become your fortune if you fix it. And fix is the only word that I have right now. I don't want people to feel, oh my God, I'm so broken. I'm broken. Because then you'll sit there and you'll be on that bus stop. You'll sit there consistently affirming to yourself that you're broken, and you're not. Because if you can form the words to use to create that claim, imagine what other words you can form to create a different one after that. For some reason, the words, it's as hard as I make it, keep echoing in my mind. And now the follow-up words is, it's also as easy as you make it. Somebody on Beyonce's internet needed to hear that. It's just this habit of making an announcement. Oh my gosh, of all the things that have been, that's been hard, and I get it. But if you keep announcing it and keep, you're just going to keep. Do you understand? If you keep talking about something, if you keep repeating something to yourself that has not been working, it's going to continue to not work because you just keep repeating it to yourself. You keep. That's what you keep. You keep. Oh my God. What's rooted in your childhood shows up in your adulthood, and stop ignoring it. Because if you keep ignoring it, if you have children, if you have, I mean, some of my friends, a few of my friends actually don't have children. So whatever's going on, it literally stops with them. Like some of them come from very small families. There is not no 10 grandkids and all that rolling around. It's them and their brother that ain't got no kids, and or it's their sister that don't have no kids, and that's it. And it's not to say any, it's not to say, because you don't, excuse me, some people's status based on what you know about being around them, but you don't know all of it. And that's the thing we have to keep in mind as we keep our people around us, whoever they are. You don't always know everything. You don't always know everything a person is overcoming. You don't even know what they're sitting in right now all the time. But once you transition, if you don't have any children that you've given birth to, all of that stops with you. This is about to go into an extremely deep rabbit hole. Wow. I probably gotta stop right there. Because there's this, I posted a video on Instagram years ago talking about healing backwards. It's there somewhere. I did. And this is what this is about to go into. And it's about to go into transdimensional things. Where you understand, it's too much. That's the conversation is going. We'll get there eventually anyway. What I'm saying to you is, in your human experience down here, when you go through these certain things, they're rooted from your childhood. You'll spend your entire life covering it up. You'll have your faith that you carry, your friends that you make, your family that you surround yourself with or completely neglect because you call them toxic. You'll have your coworkers. You'll have the livelihood that you build. And you'll escape none of what that childhood thing needs from you to fix. Just because you keep refusing something doesn't mean it's not there. How many times y'all need me to use these planets? Just because you wear a hat or a sunscreen because you don't want the sun beating your skin up does not mean that sun is not outside. It's there. It's there. It's there. So I guess what I'm saying is stop ignoring yourself. Everything, and I'm saying this to men and to women, because this is very important to understand. Stop ignoring yourself. Why do you feel like you deserve that? Why do you think that that's okay? It's not okay. Stop ignoring yourself. Ignoring yourself doesn't mean putting on a show for other people to see because you're not really looking for their approval to help you feel better. You're looking for something internal. You have to start like making the bed of your own internal validation. You do that. Your relationships might expose where you kind of let that fall by the wayside a little bit. And if you did, it's not like you can't pick it back up. But don't damn those relationships away from you and out of your life, because people who care about you can easily point out things that they see you struggling with because they struggled with us. Oh my God, look, a helpmate. Or what you may call a kindred spirit. Somebody who actually sees you. And like I said in another video, being seen can feel like you're being exposed, but it's very intimate. Remember the room that you're in when you're with that person. Remember how intimate the relationship is. Remember how close you are. It's not exposure. It's the help that you've been looking for a long time. And by the time you get to a safe space where you can unfold, you're blaming the person that can see you for exposing you when all they did was sit with you. Do you understand how psychotic that is? Do you understand what it does to the person that brings up the very thing because they heard you loud and clear? When you were able to articulate the things that you need help with. Even them understanding you can feel like offense if you're not used to helping yourself. Again, your internal validation, your own internal validation compass is important to have. There's so many people on the internet talking about simp this, whine that, want to be a man this, act like a girl that, 50-50 this, the table that. I'm not getting into that because that's going to make my headache worse. I don't need it right now. All of these different things that cause hindrance. Cause you to slow down and focus on the nutty stuff. Just and when you focus that way, what are you resolving? What are you doing? Or are you just sitting there arguing? What you doing? I'm slowing down now, so I think we're coming to the end of this. Wrapping this all up is when your childhood things come up, don't ignore that. If you're around somebody that makes you feel free like you were when you were a kid, right before that one moment where something traumatic happened, you may not even remember what it is. You just remember the feeling. Understand that that's a grace point. God sent you two to each other. Healing is an evolutionary thing. It's always going to continue. Growth is an evolutionary thing. It's going to continue because all of these are forms of energy. Oh my God! And energy what? Doesn't die. Doesn't die. It doesn't die. It doesn't die. Somehow, I hope that I didn't make this difficult to understand. And if I did, come back like later and rewatch it. Because I'm not taking nothing back from what I said. I'm not removing it. Don't make me go grandma mode on you. Because I will. Give yourself what you need. And that doesn't mean be selfish and cut people off and act like you're better than them in the process. That means give yourself, that means seek balance with understanding who you are and what you need. And in the process, enjoy your growth. You can't ignore where you are right now. You also can't ignore where you came from. But you have to learn how to bridge those gaps. And you have to understand that everybody down here gets grace points like day in and day out. It's insane. If you slow down enough to pay attention to it, you'll see it. You'll see it. When you see it about one thing, you can't unsee it. So then it becomes a thing that's in your peripheral regarding everything, and then it starts to come into your full view. So you start to see it all the time, and then that's how you become more grateful, because you see things in your focal view. Try not to misconstrue what you're looking at. Just because it looks like a problem of the past doesn't mean that it is, because you have to understand solutions come dressed in the same clothes that problems do. If problems showed up with a problem hat, problem t-shirt, problem glasses, I mean, everything said problem on it, would you run towards it? No, you wouldn't. Because who's running towards problems? Oh my God, are you that bored? Because things can unfold on their own, and you got your own things to resolve. Why would you add yourself more stress? But if somebody's walking down the street and they're glowing, and they got on a cap to say solution, glasses, solution, shirt, solution, hoodie, solution, you know, they got a solution backpack. What do you run into them? It piques your interest. What are you solving today? You see the person with the problem. I ain't running. What? I don't need more problem. I'm trying to make it make simple sense. Hello. What I'm saying is, problems come dressed up like solutions every day. It's not until you start dealing with things in detail that you see where the issues are. But in those interims, oh my God, please just do what I said, okay? I don't feel like talking about this no more.